was Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the intro? It's okay, you're forgiven. It was pretty convincing. I asked him if he would come, but he said, not today, Tatlock, not today. So I stepped in and did the role for him. One thing, not entirely sure how he wears his pants like that, because I crushed my nuts on that intro. Whew. I'm also out of breath. Holy crap. I am terribly out of shape, as evident by this body. Anyways. Today's review is for Black Eagle, barely starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Released on Blu-ray from MVD Entertainment. This is number 3. It says right there. That's a blurry 3. Released in, I believe, 1988. This would be Van Damme's... This would be his, second major... Well, no, okay, it's not a major role, but major film, I guess. It'd be his second major film, because he just did... Previous to that, he did Bloodsport. And in this one, he is the villain in it. Like I said, he's hardly in the movie. The main... I'm still catching my breath here. The main star is Sho Kosugi, who I have done a review for him. It was Rage of Honor, I believe. He's done a lot of ninja films. Pray for Death, Rage of Honor, the newest one, Ninja Assassin, coming in 2009, I think. So he's the leading man in this one, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is kind of the... he's the henchman. He's like the henchman to the main bad Russian guy. And the plot of it is an F-11 gets shot down, lands in the oceans, lands in the sea right next to Malta, and the Russians want to get the... I don't know what exactly they wanted to get. It was like a device on the plane. It wasn't a missile. Let me look at the back. It was a top secret laser tracking device that was on board. So the Russians want to get it, like KGB and Soviets and all that crap. They want to go get it, and the Americans, obviously the CIA, don't want them to get their hands on it. So they send in Sho Kosugi to pretend he's a marine biologist. He teams up with a Catholic priest who's also a marine biologist, like an actual marine biologist, but he's also a Catholic priest because he used to be in the CIA. He went to Vietnam War. Anyways, so they go. He teams up with him. There's also a partner. What's her name? It's like Patricia Parker or something like that. But that's like her character name. Patty Parker. I don't know. I don't know what her name was. There actually is an interview with her. Yeah, see if it... Doran Clark, maybe? I think, no. Yeah, I think so. Or is that a guy? Dorota Pazoo? Whatever. Anyways, so the plane goes down. They send in the guys. They find the plane. But the Russians are also there. It's a cliche kind of James Bond type of story. But kind of boring. Like, Sho Kosugi... I'm not saying he's a terrible actor. Like, he's pretty acceptable as an actor. He's a really cool, he does some really cool, action. There's a couple action scenes, a couple fights with Jean-Claude that are really neat. Jean-Claude loves to do his splits, which I'll try after. And, but it just feels long. It feels kind of boring because there's a lot of scenes where, he's interacting with his kids in the movie, and his actual kids, or his actual kids in real life. And he's interacting with them, and it's like he's trying to be a better father, but also he's a spy, and then the Russians are off in the background grimacing and scowling. And there's one cool car chase scene, which lasts a few minutes, but it's nothing too spectacular. A couple cool fights, but that's it. That is Black Eagle. It's kind of boring, unfortunately. Jean-Claude Van Damme is not in it. It's not that he's not in it much, it's just that he's not a main character. He's the henchman. He's just kind of in the background, and then he does a few fights, and he has some cool scenes, and it's really cool seeing him, cool, because I've never seen Black Eagle before, so it was cool seeing him in one of his earlier roles. One of the special features on the Blu-ray is what's it called? Tales of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Runs about 19 minutes. they don't. Jean-Claude Van Damme isn't interviewed on the new Blu-ray, but they kind of talk about what it was like working with him, and the director was like, he knew he was going to be a star, so they actually wrote his role into the film after the script was already written. So they just were like, hey, we'll just make him a henchman, and we'll just put him in every scene that the henchman's in, and he'll just, or the main Russian guy's in, he'll just be in the background. And they like praise him and stuff like that. But they do say he's like really overconfident, and he was kind of smuggish. Kind of. I mean, but I think we already knew that Jean-Claude Van Damme was kind of smuggish, like a kind of overconfident ass. But hey, that's what you got to be, right? You got to be charismatic. You got to be smug in order to make it big, right? And that's what Jean-Claude Van Damme wanted to do. He wanted to be big. After Bloodsport, like he was going to be pretty big, and like the director talks about how later on, once he got to like Lionheart, he was like making $7 million a film. So I mean, it made sense to have him into the movie and market it as another Jean-Claude Van Damme vehicle, even though it isn't. And Jean-Claude Van Damme wasn't really made aware that he wasn't going to be the main star in this film. He thought he was the main star in this film, and he even talks about how he doesn't want to get. Well, I guess the other actors talk about how Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, no, I don't want to be killed by the main actor. I should not be killed. I am stronger. I should not be the one. I shouldn't be killed by him. So they have to they kind of rework the script a little bit, and they kind of have Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's a bad guy, but he also kind of falls in love with one of the girls on the boat, the Russian boat, and they kind of build that relationship a little bit. So they kind of make things at the end where you kind of feel bad for Jean-Claude's character, but you're not supposed to because he's a killer. But it was kind of neat. But yeah, it's a 104-minute cut that I watched. It's the extended cut. There's also, I believe, 93-minute theatrical version. But if you watch the deleted scenes included on the Blu-ray, it's 11 minutes of deleted scenes that are all from the extended cut. That's it. Like, there's nothing in the extended cut that you can't see in the deleted scenes. All the deleted scenes are basically just him building up his relationship with his family. It's just all, it's not even exposition. It's just unnecessary scenes that, yeah, they try to make him be a better family man, but his like chemistry with his family is not that great, so it doesn't really work. What else is on the Blu-ray? It's finally in 1080p high definition. It's the correct aspect ratio. I believe the aspect ratio is 178:1 because I believe past releases never had the correct aspect ratio. Excuse me, still sick. Original 2.0 stereo audio. It's uncompressed PCM on the Blu-ray. It also includes a DVD. Already talked about the extended cuts. There is Sho Kazuki. There's an interview with him. It runs about 22 minutes. Yeah, that's basically martial arts legend. Okay, yeah. So, hey, does this remind you of anyone else that does reviews like this, where I'm just reading the back? The Making of Black Eagles, 35-minute featurette featuring lots of interviews with the making of, director, producer. There is the Tales of Jean-Claude Van Damme featurette that I mentioned. The script and the screenwriters, that's 28 minutes. So those are all exclusive features on the MVD release. And then the deleted scenes, the theatrical trailer, is just stuff that they don't say it's an exclusive. So anyway, so that's the slip cover. They kind of make it look like a retro. This is what a Be Kind Rewind Action Adventure Special Collector's Edition. So we take it out, and another bonus is you get the poster. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out. Look at that. See what they tried to make it seem like he is the star of the film, because even like in the interview with the Tales from Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sho Kazuki talks about how Jean-Claude Van Damme was like short. It's like 5'7", 5'8", and Sho Kazuki's 6'2". So when they were doing like their promotional materials where they had to like stand back to back, Jean-Claude Van Damme's like, can you like crouch down so we appear the same size? So I thought that was pretty funny. Kind of reminded me of Tom Cruise. So that's it. That is the film. I don't know. I mean, there's some cool action bits to it, but like I said, it just kind of feels a little boring. I think the film probably would have been a little bit better if it was trimmed down even more from the 93-minute down to like a nice lean 80-minute action film would have made it seem better. Because they're like trying to go for the kind of James Bond feel, but it's just the script isn't there, the acting isn't there, so it's just unfortunate. However, I mean, there was some enjoyment I got out of it, and the Blu-ray is pretty cool. Like I said, there's a lot of special features. There is there? I never noticed. No, I don't believe there's a commentary. I was gonna say I never noticed it in the list. There is subtitles, I believe. Doesn't say on here. I thought there was subtitles. Language is English, region 0. Sorry, I'm not sure if there was subtitles. I thought there was when I checked it, but anyways, so that is Black Eagle, number 3 in the MVD collection. I mean, if you like Jean-Claude Van Damme, just know that he's not in it much, but you know, if you're collecting his movies, that's the perfect Blu-ray to get. So that's it. That is my very short review. So like I said, I'm going to do the splits now. So check this out. Hike up these pants and crush my nuts more. Okay, you're not gonna see it fully because you can't see me. But here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah!